we'll start with prayer. You want to?
Absolutely. Would you bow your heads? Gracious Heavenly Father, we're thankful, God, that we have another opportunity just together. I ask you to be with us as we conduct the affairs of our county. God, that we do it to our utmost ability. And God, I ask you just to rest your hand upon our county, our state, and our nation. And we give you praise, honor, and glory for everything accomplished. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Public Forum, Chief Deputy Jeremy Carroll.
It's just me this time, so don't worry. First, I want to thank each of you that chose to do the right things yesterday. Commissioners Lofton, Park, Judge Martin, thank you for realizing what needed to be done and doing what was right and ultimately saving the jobs and the county money. And for those that are in the audience who have to look at the back of my bald head again, I apologize, but if you found yourselves in our positions and our staff where they were at, that you hopefully would have done the same thing for yourself and for your people. But I want to take this time to address more specifically right now Commissioner Smith, and solely Commissioner Smith. As he ranted over an hour during the last special session about the management and leadership of the Sheriff's Office, with a few agreements from some of you. I was not here to answer or refute anything, so I'm going to address a few of those issues today. I will try to keep it short because I don't know when one of your phones will ring or an urgent need to attend a project may arise during this regularly scheduled meeting. Commissioner Smith, you repeatedly bring up budget, overtime, staffing, vehicles, and management, which I felt was well answered during our previous sessions, and provide answers to y'all's questions. Yet you continue to beat the Sheriff's Office. Judge Martin on record admonished the Sheriff's Office, citing a sign of disrespect to this court by not attending Commissioners Court, yet you complaining, making statements of being ambushed and getting charged for it. Have you not looked around the audience during every other court meeting, the number of county employees who are on the clock and not required to be here sitting in this audience? Yet you have said nothing to them. So do you want your county employees involved in your meetings? I mean, you praise the videos and transparency, yet you don't want employees present on the clock? I mean, you and the judge need to get on the same page with that. Either you want the Sheriff's Office in attendance or you don't. Commissioner Smith, you repeatedly talked about needing to save money on our budget. We cut our budget by almost 7%, and I believe Warren stated last meeting, and that still wasn't enough, despite the court asking for a 5% reduction. Let's look at your vehicle allowance and that of your colleagues. Each of you, with the exception of Commissioner Lofton, receive $18,000 a year for a vehicle allowance. He only gets $12,000. You cut the constables to make them even, so why don't you do the same and cut your vehicle allowance to $12,000 and make it even across the board? Or let's do some math real quick, and I'll go slow since you were openly confused during last session when Bonnie and Warren were trying to explain some things. There's 52 weeks in a year, of which 5 days are considered a working week. That's a total of 260 working days. If I take out the county holidays, which I believe there's 15 that y'all approved, that leaves 245 working days. So let's keep that number in mind. Now, the county mileage rate, which y'all also agreed upon, was set at 67 cents a mile. So if I take that 18,000 and divide it by 67 cents, that equals 26,865 miles. Now let's look at that number divided by the total number of working days from earlier, which was 245. That gives 109.6 miles a day. Is that truly what you're driving daily throughout your working year? I mean, this court will never know because y'all were given the opportunity to get tracking devices to assist in logging and capturing vital information, yet you refused. So why don't each of you take your salary, your vehicle allowance, even out to Commissioners Lofton $12,000, that would put $18,000 back in the general fund, give enough to cover one employee's insurance premium and a little left over. And as for the vehicles going out of county, I won't touch that much because that's an obvious personal issue between you and the sheriff. However, I will say this: consider faster emergency response, a visible deterrence, better vehicle care, longer vehicle lifespan, increased readiness and deployability during storms, floods, wildfires, and the likes. Oh, and structure fires, since you seem to be displeased with Sergeant Harrelson using his to respond to house fires, even though he lives in the county. Now, the big thing your obvious displeasure with law enforcement, seemingly public safety in general, which you're entitled to. However, your blatant disrespect for them, and more specifically,
How long are we gonna let this go on?
will not be taken lightly. Last session, when you were griping about seeing 2 jailers and 1 inmate working, you failed to mention the lack of respect that was shown to those 2 county employees that day by an alleged leader and elected official of this county. And if you're confused, Commissioner Smith, I'm talking about you. You failed to mention that you openly greeted, shook hands, and almost praised the inmate while turning your back on the 2 jailers, both of which have dedicated countless hours, missed holidays, and family events for this county. And don't get me wrong, I think inmates should be treated with respect and dignity, but for you to treat my jailers the way you did is outright disrespectful, and you should be ashamed of yourself. And you should publicly apologize to them. I would be happy to work on pulling the video if you think it happened differently, or have them speak before this court to maybe remind you about the level of disrespect that you showed them. Furthermore, had you communicated with them like me and this court agreed was lacking, Commissioner Lofton and I agreed on that, you would have found out that one of those was relieving the other so he could go home due to the hours, as you so politely stated we should be doing. But why would you? It would go against your overstaffing narrative, desiring to cut their positions. Probably the same reason you failed to mention how the inmate laborers saved the county several $1,000s of work for their job on that remodel. Commissioner Smith, I'm growing increasingly tired of your disrespect and your personal bias towards public safety in this county, guiding your decisions and impacting the livelihoods of my employees and your constituents. Your lack of knowledge or desire to gain any related to the operation of the sheriff's office is a result of 1 of 2 things, either your ego or your ignorance, and I don't think it's the latter, because you are a smart man. Your actions, Commissioner Smith, are not falling on deaf ears or blind eyes.
10 seconds.
We're watching you, and you will be held accountable, even if that means I spend 2 days a month coming to address this court before the citizens of this county and you. Commissioner Smith, I'll leave you with this. I pray to God that if you ever call 911, I'm working and my staff are working, because you know what? We're going to show up and we're going to do our job to the best of our ability like we would for any other citizen. Thank you for your time.
I'll tell you this, I'm not gonna go into all the weeds, and this was a stage deal to try to make me look bad. But I'm gonna always look after the county's money. And when I see something that I don't think is right, I'm gonna bring it forth. Now, it was said last week that if we not gonna run no overtime, and we'll just shut down the 911. Well, I just wanna ask one question. In 2012, when we took this job, Woody as sheriff and me as commissioner, he started out with 5 jailer dispatchers and 1 supervisor. A part-time item was 1, or 13,000 is what it was in it. He started with 5 deputies and 1 animal control officer. And we could run 911 then, and we can't now. I don't understand it, but I'm not gonna get into the weeds on this. The people can read it for what it's worth, but I'll always be looking after your money. That's all I gotta say, Judge.
I'd like to point out to everybody watching that Commissioner Smith devoted half of his life carrying a badge and a gun at the prison. He retired from the prison.
That's not law enforcement.
It's the same thing. Pretty close.
Don't even compare it. He refers to us the way he does, and you've heard him say it. That's token pistol wearing, no good. That's
I think that was a joke.
You've heard no one.
That was a joke. We all know it was.
Okay, we're not gonna get into that.
Comment on public anyway.
Okay, we're gonna go on. Approve the minutes, September 16th, 2025, and September 9th, 2025, regular session.
Your Honor, I read through the minutes. I didn't find any discrepancies at all on both, so move their adoption.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 5, discuss an act on proclamation recognizing October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And it's whereas the crime of domestic violence violates an individual's privacy and dignity, security, and humanity due to the synthetic use of physical, emotional, sexual, physical, and economic control, and as abuse, including abuse of children and elderly. Whereas the problem of domestic violence are not confined to any group or groups of people, but cut across all economic, racial, and social barriers, and are supported by social indifferences. And whereas survivors of domestic violence themselves have been at the forefront of efforts of bringing peace and equity to the home. Therefore, in recognition of the important work done by domestic violence programs such as Safe House, and this is Miss Tiffany Pritchard.
I'm Tracy Stout.
Okay. And
So moved.
Do hear about proclaim.
okay. In Trinity County, and we urge all the citizens to actively participate in the scheduled activities of the programs to work towards eradicating and domestic violence, improving victims' safety, and holding predators of domestic abuse accountable for their actions against individuals, victims, and our society as a whole.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you all very much for your consideration. You know, we work real hard to support our residents here in Trinity County, and we thank you for y'all's support continued. We do really appreciate all of you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
work.
You'll come around and get a picture.
Hey, you'll come around and get a picture.
Stephen? Proclamation. Neil?
Good morning, how are you,
Y'all
ma'am?
just stay seated. We're all just push up here together.
Thank y'all so
Thank you
much for
very
your work.
much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 6, discuss an act of approval on personal action form.
Judge Orrin had to go to a funeral this morning, so
Yeah.
he said there was just one of them. He also said this one here is coming out of a fund that Benny has. It's not coming out of.
It is.
Yeah.
So moved.
Second.
Got a second on it?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
This is the longest one we've ever had. Discuss an act on official bonds, number 7.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Receive monthly payroll reports for August 2025. Number 8.
So I know Lauren is not here, Rebecca's not, but since I had the this question asked to me this morning. This is your information in your packet that tells you how many employees are each in department, how many got paid, and you can count those up and look at what you were questioning as to how many, who are they paid. This is your report, how many full-time, how many part-time, it's in your packet. So I want to bring your attention to that because it's right there for your information.
There's no action on that, but if y'all got any questions on that?
I don't have any questions on number 8.
Anybody?
Well, we gotta have a motion to discuss an act or so moved.
No, we're talking about number 8.
No,
Just
that's
C.
number 8?
Yeah.
Number
Oh,
8.
okay.
Number 9, discuss an act of approval on the receipt file listing specified activity report and Trinity County debt schedule for August 2025.
That's the one I was looking at now. We actually won't start getting our tax money until November, really, to speak of. Should it be November, December, start getting tax revenue?
Yes, November.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll address that in the monthly report.
Yes, ma'am. benefits too, looking at them. So moved.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, number 10. Discuss and act on approval monthly financial reports for August 2025.
Morning, Jen.
Morning.
Bonnie, how are you?
Oh, very good.
Go ahead.
You have the month of August report for 11 months of activity. Our percentage of collections and revenue on taxes is 92%. Our revenue is at 90%, expenses at 79%. Now, I made a note that not all of the revenue and interest received in the month of August has been posted to this report because of the timing as to when that information is received by us, audited, and the treasurer's office amount of time for them to enter this before it's due to print for the court. Overall, for all general road, bridge, and special funds, revenue is at 100%, and expenses are at 92%. So our average is 92% for the month of August, so we're right on the amount there on overall percentages.
Just a question that I had, I know that it showed that we had $300-something thousand maybe that we had to add back to our budget. Is that due to all the,
No, that's always been in your budgets as a transfer from.
it's just transferred from
It's
our
a
budget?
transfer from the general fund, maintenance and operation budget
Yes.
that is needed to go to the road and bridges departments based on how much you need to cover your road and bridge budgets for that new fiscal year.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, are you talking about,
The 312,000.
Yeah.
so?
I
yeah,
thought
since-
that was money allocated to us, but I didn't know if that got into that savings, because I know I've
No, we
spent
don't.
paving roads.
That's not
and
your
all that.
money. That is budgeted money.
Budget money,
It's
yes, ma'am.
budgeted money, but we have to balance your budget. If you say, my budget, I need $190,000 or $1,009,000 to operate. The amount of revenue that you receive as road and bridge commissioners have certain amounts that you're required by law to receive. 10% of that go on, okay? So you get 10% split by your road percentage.
Yes,
Some
ma'am,
have
right.
higher,
Understand.
10%, 23, 40, something like that.
Understand, yes, ma'am.
All right, then you receive lateral road funds and you receive other funds.
Okay.
At the end of the day, when you've added everything that you need and you're short, you don't have enough revenue coming in to cover your budget, we have to cover it from the general maintenance and operation funds, the money that we have to work with for the general budget.
We're gonna see that with losing the timber money this
Well,
time.
Yes, but last year, or the year before, so last year there was 217,000, you can see last year's.
Yes, ma'am, correct.
That has been, the transfer over to road and bridge has occurred for many, many years, even before my time.
Yes,
It's
ma'am.
nothing new.
Right.
But it is an additional supplement that's required. We also pay a carryover from maintenance operation, your salaries, your longevity,
Right.
your payroll taxes, okay?
So we're not, I know I wasn't over on mine, but I guess it was said that 300 and something thousand we was over, and then
You
200
will
something.
be over in your new budget, you don't have enough.
Yep, but it's balancing the fund.
We have to balance all the funds. So I have to take out $312,000 out of the general budget that can't be used anywhere other than your road and bridge.
Right, that's
Okay.
allocated money.
Otherwise, you'll show your expenditures are more than your revenue, and that's not a balanced
Yeah,
budget.
no, man. Well, another question, when can we have an accurate, I think I've used all my ARPA money. In fact, I know I have used all
Good
my
question, yeah, you
ARPA
probably
money.
have. And so have some of you, and some of your savings accounts are not accurate.
Yes, so I'd like to
That
know
is
exactly what it's saying.
that's a treasurer question.
Yes, ma'am, okay, well, I have paid and everything.
And I
else.
caution all of you,
Yes, ma'am.
because what you think you have in your savings account is not there.
It's not there. No, ma'am,
What
I
I
know
did
mine.
is, when I started spending the ARPA money, I wrote it down, a list of everything I was spending.
Good.
Then last week, I went and sat down in Rebecca's office and went over it, and all the stuff, I mean, there was still some stuff that wasn't in there that I had that I spent. So that's what I had to do.
You can tell by the
Okay.
expense lines, that's real. When we pay a bill, that's real.
Yes,
That comes out, you know that you've spent that if you look at your budget. Then you compare it like Tommy did, but what do I still have in my savings account? If the treasurer doesn't transfer those funds out of your savings or ARPA and move it over to accounts payable, then it appears that you have more money in those funds than you really do. They're still trying to shore that up. It is a responsibility of the treasurer's office to reconcile those bank accounts.
Well, I know that I'm
You are right there.
I'm there.
And I tried to warn you, and I also called the treasurer's office and
Yes,
said, whoa,
Yeah,
wait a
I
minute.
got it.
Before we pay that, are we sure
There's money there.
there's money in the bank? Okay?
Well, I kept a running total, so I knew
Good,
what I
and that's
had.
what
Yes, ma'am.
at this point, we've never had this problem before, but it snowballed over the last 2.5 years. So we've got 2.5 years that we've got to go back, which they are still working on it, and they're very, very close. Okay? So that is where we are.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you, ma'am.
you're welcome.
So moved. There's no question.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Number 11, discuss an act of approval of disaster-related claims and invoices.
You have a list from payables on what was paid out the week of, from September the 4th through September the 18th. Additional $52,619 in road materials, fuel. That's all that's in there. And we are still keeping track of this. We still need this for the administrative portion of FEMA to reimburse us for the administrative time spent, not only by the grant writers, but also by my department and individuals.
I went and sat down with Vicki a few days ago, maybe last week, and she said she just finalized everything in FEMA.
Yep.
That she also said Neil is gonna get his, all his money caught up. That they're sending, I guess they had some, issues or something in their side of it or whatever, and it just happened to be Neil's that they got
Held up.
but they did confirm that everything is good and they
Yeah, I
will be
was
paying
on
out
a conference
everything.
call,
So
and they said, we're good to go, we're cleared, we're closing it out, other than now you just do your administrative percentage on the amount of time spent, so we can send you the funds on your amount of time that's been spent on payroll.
Yep.
So we're working on that right now, but they pretty much said, you're gonna get it, because they keep track of all the conference calls and all the meetings and all the stuff that we've done. But we just have to approve timesheets, payroll, and such of that, so we're working on that now.
make a motion we approve this.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 12, we're gonna pass
Pass
on
over
12.
that, we're gonna have quite a few for the ending of September, so I'll just save them all till then.
Okay, and then number 13, discuss an act of approval on county auditor to sign a rental agreement with Moulton Machinery Rent for RM 702 Caterpillar Road and Bridge Precinct 4.
I believe you've already picked up the
No, I'm
machinery.
actually using it today. It's a machine I'm using to mix the asphalt I'm putting out, so I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Just a question, Jay, how'd that go for me?
Not really good.
I had a feeling it was what you said.
What does it do? Mix it?
Yes.
It's like a big chili.
Huh.
Yeah. Low mag machine.
It's a big killer. Number 14, discuss and act approval of statewide automated victims notification service grant program. 2026, huh?
He's not here, but we do this one every year. It's
Okay.
victim notification system.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number 15, discuss and act approval to apply for SHSP National Priority Areas for supporting border crisis response enforcement. 15. Another Vicky's there.
It's a grant and there's no matching funds. I make a motion we approve it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Want this grant?
Yes, we can pick them up after the meeting.
Number 16, discuss and act approval applying for the Texas Middle Mile Program 2026.
There's no match on this one either. So we,
Second.
All in favor?
aye.
Aye. Don't bring it up. Got a call just before I come in here about it. Oh.
Number 17, discuss an act of approval to apply for solid waste grant from DECCOG.
This is
Clean up.
this is the trash cleanup we do every year.
Make a motion to approve it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. It never ceases to amaze me how much stuff is brought in our cleanup days. It looks like it's been laying there 30 years. And they keep hauling it in.
Guess somebody missed our tire day. Past 2 weeks, I've been getting a couple tires set outside my fence. Past 2 weeks.
I know where you're coming
No,
from. Yeah.
Bonnie said thank you.
Environmental thanks you.
oh, I didn't, I was
Yeah.
wondering. Oh, crap, I'm sorry.
Number 18, discussing an act on approval to supply the Texas Veteran General Assistance Grant 2026.
So moved.
Second.
This is that same one, isn't it, that we had?
Yes, it's just a continuation, we have to renew
Yes,
it every
ma'am.
year. Yes, it just goes into the next fiscal year.
Got a vote on it, Judge.
Sir.
Call for the vote. We got a motion and a second. Let's vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 19, Ms. Sheston. Discuss an act on approval on the sheriff and constable fees for 2026.
It's just something that we report every year, this one changes.
Changes?
Unless any constable requested any changes to the judge's office.
So moved.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 20, receive monthly report from Trinity County Sheriff's Office.
I believe you'll have it all in front of you, I'm gonna quickly go over it. Our monthly jail report, you can see that we arrested a total of 47 inmates. We made a total of arrests of 67 inmates. We currently have 47 inmates in custody. Our inmate contract housing has gone up significantly since we lost our variance. We're at $80,000 for last month. Transportation, go by the mileage set by the government, we were at $5,300 last month for transporting, which brings our jail total last month to $86,000. We don't have the inmate medical costs in there because I guess there was confusion in getting the reports over to my office sometimes, so it'll be included next month. The arrest made in August was 87. I want to address that real quick. It's been brought to my attention that members of this court has been going around telling people that we're just making arrests to fill the jail just out of spite. That is incorrect. That issue, that warning or that order has never been given to anybody. Our arrest count is still lower than all the other counties around us. Well, we arrest less than, I think our arrest rate is 3.4, which means and the average is over 4. So we're pretty conservative in our deal. Also, incorrect information going out about misdemeanor arrests or clogging our jails. They do not go to other counties. When they're arrested, they're let out within less than 24 hours. So it does not go on our jail count, nor does it go to another county where we're paying for them. The ones in the other jails are in there for high crimes, mainly all over felonies, child molesters to murderers. I don't have any control over letting those out. Further, our call report in the next deal, we had 1,024 incident reports that we took. 53 of those were animal calls. We had 1,482 911 calls last month. Total citations were 41 in the county and total warnings 113. So we had quite a few traffic stops. We have DPS pretty heavy back in the area, so now they're really starting to work pretty hard. Our August jail exceptions, you can tell we were denied 63 times access to use someone's jail. This is still dangerous. We can't take people to jail when we need to. We can't move them around. 63 times last month we were denied access to move our inmates to their jail. That's all broken down by jail and what days. And you can see there, anytime we're going over 7, we got 8, 9 inmates in jail, we're out of compliance because we can't move inmates, so I don't know what to say about that. Contract housing and medical. Like I said, we didn't get all the invoices in, but we did invoice there for $37,000 from Santa County. I spoke with the sheriff in Angelina County this morning. They're still waiting to pass the final inspection from the jail commission. Don't know when that's going to be. He said they're clearing out their punch list now, so they'll be able to accept inmates soon. And that will be a contract I'll have to bring here for y'all's approval. Next one is our monthly citation and warning report. There's a lot of blank pages for some reason that printed, so it wasn't accurate, but like I said, we think we stopped 51 cars last month, or 51 citations. Next is our environmental hours and mileage. You got any questions over that, I'll go over it, but other than that, it pretty much speaks for itself. Those guys stay pretty busy. Next one is our district court dockets. You can see who's being reset and whatnot. I know the capital murder trial has been postponed until December. The district judge in that case recused himself, which started the case pretty much all over. Another district judge come in from Montgomery County. He set it for trial, told them to be ready regardless of whatever it's going to be. There's going to be a trial and they better be ready, so that's a good thing. Hopefully we will get them sent to TDC soon. And off our bill, the next one is your 411th District Court docket. You got any questions about that? I can go over it. Other than that, I'm going to skip right on over it. Grand jury, we had 17 indictments last month. They're all listed by name. Doesn't look like the actual charges on there, but you can always look that up because they're still in jail. Next one's our inmate roster. Moving on to the animal control report. We had a total of 53 calls for animal control. 10 of those were in the city, 43 of those were out in the county. Our kennels are full, we're overflowing with dogs and dog calls. People are trying to get us to pick up their unwanted dogs if they decide they don't want any more. We've got people holding 15 to 20 dogs and they want us just to pick them up and donate them to us, or not donate them, but surrender them to us. We cannot take surrendered animals. We're going to hold these we're going to hold these people responsible. We're going to issue them tickets, and we're going to hope and ask that the JP start finding them to the max. To set an example, these people quit hoarding on to these dogs that they can't get, they can't take care of, and that they don't get spayed or neutered. They keep having a bunch of puppies, and they call us and want us to take them off their hands. Next one is all communication with the county judge. This is going to be a new addition. Every time that I communicate with the judge, it's going to go part of the record. It's going to be entered into our report. I've been accused of not communicating, so therefore there's going to be an error here on out. TCSO monthly city reports. The next one is our city reports. The mayor called me this morning. That's what I stepped up, took a call a few minutes ago. He told me that the city has decided that they're satisfied with what we're providing them, and they're going to keep paying for the 2 additional deputies. So that is good news for us. However, I'd like to warn whoever on this court is telling members of the city council that it got back to me, but not who it was, but that they were told that they do not have to pay that, and that we have to take calls regardless if they take it or not. If they pay that or not, I think that's dangerous because that's going to put us into a very serious understaffed position, and I urge whoever saying that to please stop. We took 97 calls in the city of Groveton last month. Pretty high call report, but each one of them are listed out by call. So we stay pretty busy in the city of Groveton, and said we cannot very well handle not being able to have additional manpower to handle that. And then you can see the monthly city citations and warnings. There were 17 citations written in the city of correction, there were 17 warnings written in the city and 3 citations written in the city of Groveton. And that pretty much concludes that.
They didn't vote on that last night, did they?
They went in executive session and I was told that they decided that they're going to keep it. That's the phone call I got.
Well, the reason is because in our budget, we put it to where it would end and we funded until April. And then that's when
Right.
it's supposed to renew. So
That's
we
right.
need to fix our budget. if
Well,
that's-
they put it in their budget for the entire year to pay for it. That's what I'm saying. Doesn't mean that the contract can't be
No,
canceled.
I'm saying, we thought that's when the 2 years was up, was in March or April. So we need to adjust that. If they started it now, we need to adjust it now.
That's strictly up.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
adjust it before you vote on it.
You can strictly
I
do
don't-
that
Yeah.
later or another time. I personally don't care. When I hired these people, I know it was a great big discussion, like we were gonna try to do something secret. That position, those two positions go away as soon as that contract goes away. And they were hired knowing that, and that is something that I told the city of Groveton, so there's no reason for us to try to keep sneaking them in, as we were accused of trying to do. That is not true. The people that were hired for that know that, and if that does go away, they go away immediately.
I just want to bring up the
Right, I understand.
just budget part of it.
But yes, they did say that they are going to improve it in their budget, and it's going to.
I guess they'll notify you, Bonnie, or something that they renewed. Yep.
I mean, they investigated the cost of going back and putting their own police department in, and they called the state, and they realized that they would have to add over $100,000 to their budget to do that, and they felt like that was, they were getting more bang for their buck using less.
Has the DPS helped you,
Yes,
Kenny?
tremendously.
Since
We
they've
have
been
2
sitting
troopers
there?
here, full-time now, they live in the county.
Yeah.
They're responding to crashes very quickly. The lieutenant, we've changed new sergeant areas. We have a new sergeant out of Livingston. So our troopers answer to the sergeant in Livingston, and he has promised me that they will stay in this county, they will work in this county, and that we should not expect anybody that has a crash to sit more than less than an hour before they have a trooper to work direct. In the past, we've been having troopers come from Palestine and Elkhart and Graveland. It's taken them 3 hours to get here, so I'm hoping that situation is resolved, better serve the people here. The crashes are
I believe they're living here, aren't they?
they, both of them live in the county. One of them lives in Westwood, and one of them, I'm not sure where Simon lives. I think he lives over in the city of Trinity somewhere. They are both exceptional young new troopers. They're doing their job. They're providing our JPs with lots of business. Any questions? That concludes my report. Thank you.
21, discuss an act setting fall trash cleanup day.
I think we're almost a little late on this. Usually we've said it before, but we do it every year in October. So I had, me and Lisa put that on the agenda so we can discuss it for Saturday in October to see what's going on and what we.
I would like it to be on either the first or the second Saturday. That's my personal preference.
The problem with the first or the second, only thing I haven't lined up probationers yet. I haven't even told them a date, hadn't got them a flyer or anything. So usually we have about a month or so that when they got my number and they start calling me, and that's how we get our help is from them. So
What about the 18th or the 25th?
I'm gonna be gone the 25th, but the 18th I'll be fine.
you all right with 18th or?
Is that the third Saturday?
Thursday.
Gonna make it the 18th?
Celebrating 51 years.
Yep, 18th's fine with me, if it's fine with everybody else.
All right with you, Neil?
Yes, sir.
I
Steve?
had to put up with it.
That's up to everyone. That's fine with me. I can make it work.
Good, number,
Make a motion, we do it for the 18th.
Second.
all in favor? Number 22, discuss an agreement between Tommy Parks and Claudette Harrison on 129 Martin Lane.
But I haven't got this signed yet due to some medical reasons. So when I meet with her, I like to put it back on there after I get it signed, or can I get it approved now and get her to sign it, or does she have to sign it before we approve it?
You working on drainage?
Just drainage, yeah.
I make a motion to approve it.
There's some drainage on this Martin Road that comes off of the Lawrence Road, and I'm just.
That's that culvert you was telling me about.
Yeah.
So Lynn,
I'll second.
can you tell me we got to the 2 Martin Roads?
He's Martin Lane, you're Martin Road.
Yeah, we got it corrected on there, Martin Lane.
Okay.
So when I get it signed, I'll submit a copy or whatever to you, to your office.
Okay.
Let's vote on it. Let's vote on it.
All in favor?
Aye.
But it is the 18th.
Clean up, yes.
The cleanup is 18th.
Yeah,
Yes.
October 18th.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Number 23. Consider, approve, and sign, and this is on that opioid stuff for all the pharmaceutical companies and our lawyers and stuff.
Make a motion to approve it.
All in favor?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
It's something that we've done in the past, and they didn't give us an amount, but that's what we've been getting a little dab here and there.
Yes, sir.
Number 24, discuss an act of approval on reports for the month of August 2025. We've got the constables, and then we've got
Brad Martin. Oh, it's on there.
this is Miss Nancy Sanfeld. Let's go. $17,976. $17,976. Judge Wallace, 68, 67, 54. 6,008, 67, 54. Chief Johnson, Precinct 2, 5478, 5,478. Chief Johnson, Precinct 3, 7,625.26. 7,625.26. Richard Steptoe, precinct 4, 4,950.20. 4,950.20. Trinity County Clerk, Ms. Shasta Birdman, 21,641.58. 21,641.58. District Clerk, Ms. Steptoe, 15,611.18. 15,611.18. We got. Did that.
Motion to approve all of them.
Colton didn't have his, it'd be next month.
Second.
Their conference.
Yeah, he's going to that conference.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Number 25, receive as information ordered setting salaries for the fiscal year for 411 and 258 courts. Need a motion on that.
So move. No, it's just information, Judge.
Information.
We don't have no say over it anyway.
Uh,
We don't have no say over that anyway.
we don't. Wish we did sometime. Okay, number 26, conduct a public hearing on proposed budget for fiscal year 2026, and the time is 10 o'clock. Nobody in the public like to say anything?
There ain't nobody else.
We got a gentleman here.
Oh, okay.
My name's Michael Deck. I'm just a citizen, came to observe the local government hard at work. I'm a little disappointed with what I see here today, gentlemen. I will be digging deeper into this, investigating my own, see what's going on here, but it seems that we need some new people, new blood. Trinity's dying, not growing, 1.6% growth from last year. How many of you guys have construction backgrounds?
I have some in construction.
Okay. Any heavy construction?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it looks like we're lacking a little bit in that area too. Are we getting contractors to do work, or we have county employees doing work?
We do it ourselves.
Okay.
A little bit of both, actually.
Okay. Who's qualifying contractors? You do that for each one of your own precincts?
So is this about the budget, or what is this about?
This is about government in general, tax dollars.
I thought this is the public.
This is just about budget.
This is just about our
It's
budget.
about budget, we're spending money. So I'm asking who's qualifying contractors, because I've lived here 4 years, the road construction right here is abysmal. It's unqualified people, no other way to put it. No other way. And you, sir, and I say sir because I was raised correctly, are disgraceful.
Well,
What you did was
I'm not,
very,
I'm not
very
gonna put
rude.
up with the abuse,
No.
Judge. Now, this is out of line.
Out of line. Your smirk said everything. I was here 10 minutes and watched what
Hey,
you said.
we're talking about the budget.
I'm done with my budget.
That's all we're doing.
I want some answers. Who's responsible for hiring contractors? Who qualifies their bids?
Come to my office.
Come
Come to
your
my
office?
office. Yeah, come to my office.
Well, I thought that's what this is for.
This is to talk about the budget. You
This
have-
is talk about our
I'm talking
budget.
about I'm talking about money. That's budget.
This is not,
This,
we're fixing to pass this budget.
this is our,
I'll make an appointment with you, sir.
Yes,
And
sir.
each one of you guys individually.
yes, sir, won't you do that? Okay. N04, out.
Let's take a break, Judge.
Okay,
Judge,
let's take
hold
a
on,
break.
one second before sir, hey, hold on, sir, I'll address, since you kind of addressed me just a little bit real quick. When I do use contractors, it's local people, that are reputable, that this community uses. We don't use them a lot. I've got 4 people that work for me, 2 part-time, 2 full-time. 2 of them are retired from TxDOT, so one of those 2 are my foremen. So,
That's all the information.
so I think my people and my roads are getting the best bang for their buck for the money I've got.
I agree with you. I'm not saying that they're not.
Well, I just wanted to address that since you said that to me.
I would like to address too, I don't have any employees or equipment, but the one that's doing in Commissioner Smith has had highway experience with the TxDOT and offer. I don't know how many years Sam worked for him, but he's probably one of the best on the blade that you've ever seen. So he is qualified, definitely, no doubt about that. But I will say this, that wasn't the time to attack a commissioner.
I'm not attacking the commission.
Because
I'm
I
attacking-
will defend you.
I'm attacking local government.
Okay,
And to respond to you,
yes, sir.
a blade hand does not make an engineer.
Yes, sir.
With all due
This
respect.
this county don't have the money for engineers.
I understand that, sir, and that's what I'm trying to get at. This county needs to grow. We live in a beautiful, beautiful area adjacent to Huntsville, Conroe, the Woodlands, Houston.
I agree with that.
The money can be here, the growth can be here. I've lived here 4 years and I've watched this place stagnate. I have 2 businesses here. Can't hire anybody, can't grow. Why? We live in one of the most beautiful parts of Texas. I can answer your questions, why it won't grow, because we're not allowing it to grow. And I'm not saying people are stupid or anything, I'm saying there's a difference between stupid and ignorance. We as a community can be ignorant about how we look at things, especially with outsiders. You know, it's a great place. I'm never gonna leave here. This is where I'm gonna die. I know that might irritate some of y'all, but I'll be here. I just wanna see it do better.
Have you contacted the economic development of Groveton and Trinity?
I have not. This is my first step in trying to see how
Okay,
this all works.
that would be a good start, because I know that in the last few years, we were blessed to have a Tractor Supply to come in. We had a couple businesses to move into Trinity that helped. I would contact them to find out what their plans are to maybe entice businesses to come.
I understand, and I apologize for my seeming to be attacking. I'm not trying to be attacking. I'm a passionate person, and I'm very aggravated about the way things are ran around here. And again, my opinion, a lot of good old boy network stuff around here. Works great. I totally think it works great, but we gotta step outside the box and make things better. I've been trying to grow a business here for 4 years. I cannot hire anybody because, and with all due respect, Tractor Supply is not a good job, sir. It's filled with jobs. You know, the more we can get this community to grow and do better, the lower the crime rate's going to go. Just people don't live where crackheads live, right?
Understand?
It's called gentrification.
I would get with them and see what their plans are moving forward.
And thank you for the information, that's all I was looking for, is how
Well,
we do business.
You addressed everybody, so I wanted to, we're live, I want people to know, I use the people around here, keep your money local.
Absolutely,
And I know you're a big part of that, I saw you this weekend, you kept your money local at different events.
always.
That's my stand on
I got a question. Why are you attacking the blade hands?
I'm not attacking the blade hands. He made a point that they have a blade hand that's very good. But that doesn't make, a blade hand doesn't make an engineer.
So what?
Just
what
because
do you-
he's good at operating that piece of equipment doesn't mean he understands modulus elasticity, frequency. There's lots of things that go into road construction and blade hand has no idea. Maybe he can smear peanut butter on a piece of bread with that blade, that's great. Doesn't mean he understands compression. You see what I'm saying? I'm not attacking a blade hand.
It sounded like you were.
How did that sound like I was attacking a blade hand?
Well, you want everybody to be certified.
I didn't say anything about certification. Not one thing. Did I say certification? I said it's qualifying contract.
But really, just come by and visit me and we'll go over a bunch of that stuff, and I'll have you some answers, and if we don't, we'll both go find them.
I'm just looking for the way that things are done right now.
Yeah,
And
okay.
You're getting it all on me.
Gonna take a break. Yes, ma'am?
I would like to say something about the budget. I'm wondering where the budget is published for the public to see since we're having a public hearing.
I done closed it out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It-
It's published on our website.
It's on our website,
Okay, thank you.
Are we at recess?
yes.
Yes.
How long, Judge?
Ma'am,
How long will you call recess?
15 minutes. Order. Discuss an act on order setting salaries, expenses, and allowances to elected officials. Government Code Section 152013.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 28, discuss and consider adopting the Trinity County budget for fiscal year 2026.
Here you go.
Motion on
Judge, I'll start out with saying this has been a long process, 4-month long. Hadn't been the best 4 months of my life, I'll tell you that. Before I make the motion to approve it, I'd like to say that next year I would like to see this done a little different, somehow, some way, so it's not taking up 4 months of our time. I think my recommendation would be for next year, for y'all to consider, is have every department come in one day and have 5-10 minutes, whatever it is, and tell us their wish list, and then we go from there on what they want, you know, and see if we can fit it into the budget. This going back and forth, up and down, it's just not. This is not the way it should be. Every other county has finished their budget already. Not saying nobody in the other departments did anything wrong. I'm not saying we did anything wrong, but there's got to be a better way. And a more.
I think if everybody I think we'd start out with the original and then do a wish list with it.
That's exactly. I said that earlier in one of the budget. One of the hundreds of budget meetings we've had. That when you start out with the original, what we did the year before, that budget, and get everybody's wish list and see if we can fit it in or if we can't fit it in, and let's put this thing to bed.
Yeah, everybody have to be agreed.
This 4-month long stuff is, you know, going back and forth, all that is not, you've seen how bad it has gotten. And let's just keep it at that. And
I was confused on the different options. Option A, option B, option C. That got me so confused. It needs to be plainer.
yeah, we need to.
Your options were because every time you changed the budget,
Yeah.
so you had to have a different version,
Yeah.
a different one
So
rerun every time.
I know we can't vote on what we're gonna do next year right now or whatever, but let's just think about this and get a game plan together before we spend, when everybody else is taking vacations in the summer, I'm having nightmares about budget all summer long. So I think there's a better way, a more economical way to deal with this. And I think if we knock out everybody's wish list in one day, if it takes all day, I'll sit here all day.
Okay.
Let's give them 5-10 minutes, whatever they need to discuss it, and give us their reasoning and proof why they need it. And let's move on, and then we can go to the budget from the year before and say, hey, we may can give precinct 1 $1 million. You know, we may can do that.
If I may,
But-
just
Yeah.
so, you actually have that process in place.
Yeah.
And those departments send a request to the budget officer, which is the county judge. They copy me.
The only thing-
And so you do get those requests, you may, and I think in the past, I've given you copies of what each of those departments have asked for, and then those that come forward are those that ask
I
for
think it-
changes above and beyond the current
I
budget.
think you're right. Well, I know you're right, no thing about it, but it takes up about 3 of our meetings, because if we put 3 or 4 on up here at each week, you see what I'm saying? If we could just knock them all out in one time, in one day,
If you can get all of them together on one
and
day.
that give them plenty of time, to, give them plenty of time to say, hey, on June 25th or whatever, we're gonna have this budget meeting, have a representative here from your department, and give them plenty of time. And let's hash through this thing, because I'm gonna be,
Trying to speed it up.
to all these other counties, they're done, and we're the laughing
Well,
stock,
that's
because
the
we're still
problem.
arguing
I
about
can
it.
tell you probably why, but anyway, you do receive what the prior budget was, that's always there, so you know what the original budget was, is, current. Then first, we've got to know what our anticipated revenue is, we've got to do that first.
Yep.
We can start with what the current budgets are, so you know how much you probably are going to need. Then you take and consider those wish lists, but then we've got to know what's our ad valorem, what are we going to collect?
Yep.
What is our anticipated revenue?
And that's
From that,
let's
then we
start-
start dispersing it.
Let's talk about that for just 1 second, and I'm gonna make this motion here in just a second. On this evaluations, on these, what they're saying, we're gonna collect, the estimates, like you said earlier, we're at 92%. They're saying this year we're gonna collect 99%. So it's always been,
Realistic.
what I remember, it was 94 to 96%. It's never been 99. And here we are, right now in this current budget, we're at 92% collection rate. So I don't know how that's gonna affect our next budget, but it's gonna affect it a lot.
When you receive that information, you adjust that percentage. You adjust by what you historically have collected or can collect. We were doing 95% for several years, and it, didn't vary much, but then it's dropped. But they're saying, yes, this is your anticipated revenue, but that isn't what we
Yeah.
actually collect, and even in delinquent taxes. It's all an estimate. But yes, you should understand, you're not gonna collect 99 or 100% of the revenue. There's no way. 98%, that's pretty high.
We wouldn't be over $2-point-something million behind if we collected 99%.
So the court needs to take that into consideration and go, okay, they say we're gonna collect this, so let's back it down just a little bit. Be realistic in your revenue, then you can be more realistic in your
Yes.
expenses.
Well, when I saw the 99
When they done growth too, the last few years, land has went through the roof, and it's more revenue there. And now it's peaking off. This next year's gonna be tough, I'll just tell you.
Well, with all that discussion, anybody else got anything? If not, I'll make a motion, we approve it.
All in favor?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? None.
Judge, you're gonna be at the top line, so I'll come down below you.
I had to vote on
Oh. We got plenty of lines to sign if you want to. Steve?
that. Tough budget next year, I'll tell you right now. I'm ready to see it. Okay, number 29. Number 30, discuss and consider action of adopting tax rate for 2025 year to fund the 2026 fiscal year. Number 30.
Make a motion, we do it at 5.39. Is that right? 0.539.
You gotta have a hearing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we gotta have a public hearing first, I forgot. Gotta set a public
Right
hearing.
here's the 30.
Oh, okay,
Take that one, take mine.
okay.
Gotcha.
I see, conduct a public hearing on a proposal tax rate for fiscal year 2026. The time in is 10:37. Anybody want to say anything on that? On the 5.39? We had last
Yeah, we
year.
didn't have to raise.
Didn't have to raise.
Yes.
Would anybody like to address that tax rate?
None?
Nobody in the hallway either, Judge.
Okay. $10.38 then, bring that back in. Now, number 30, discuss and consider action adopting that tax rate 2025.
I make the motion, we adopt 0.539.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hey, it was hard keeping that tax rate at that, not going up and down.
This one we're going with what they added to the evaluation.
I'm thinking that that's it, but I'm not positive.
Yeah, that's gonna be revenue tax profit increase.
Okay, that's how much more was brought in. $979
That's correct.
that was brought in. Make a motion, we approve it.
That's going, I'll second it. That's gonna be the money that's extra from the
From last year.
evaluations, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll second it.
It's not an increase. I mean, it is an increase, but it's not an increase in taxes.
Yeah, it's just
an
a-
increase in revenue.
Increase in revenue from the evaluations.
Yes, right. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Number 32, discuss an act and order setting regular terms of Commissioners Court 2026. We had one November the 10th that it's on a Monday, but that's Veterans Day and they moved it. Is that correct? Lisa?
Yes. I'm so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Can you sign this, guys? Aye.
Yeah.